Welcome to Boldeck e-learning. In today's video, we're going to talk about the Vlookup function. So you will use the Vlookup function when you need to find things in a table or a range by row. So how does Vlookup work? It will go first down through the first left column until it will reach the row that matches your lookup value. And then it will go to the right to find the value that it needs to output in the column specified under the column index argument. So let's talk about the syntax of the VLOOKUP formula. So the VLOOKUP formula will have four arguments. First of all, the VLOOKUP value, then the table array, the column index, and the range lookup. So in simple terms, the arguments are as follows. So we have VLOOKUP, what you want to look for, where you want to look for it, the column number in the range containing the value to return, and finally, if you want an approximate or an exact match. So in order to understand VLOOKUP easily, I have set up an example where we will fill the main table, this main table, we will fill it from secondary tables that we have set up. Okay, so I have a list of sales, and then I have list of cars available for sale and the salesperson with the region they cover. First things first, let's start with writing the formula. So we'll write equal v lookup tab and then the lookup value. What will be my lookup value? So in order to get the manufacturer, I need the car model. So my lookup value will be this car model, comma, my table array. So this is my table array. Okay, the column index. So in which column am I going to find this manufacturer? So this is the column where I want the output to come from. So this is column number 2. Why? Because this is column number 1, 2, and that's 3. So from column number 2, and I want an exact match. An exact match means that if this lookup value is not available here, it will not look for something similar. While approximate match, Excel will take this lookup value and it will start searching for the closest match. Okay, so we will take the exact match. To do so, either we will write false or we will write 0. 0 and false are the same. This is a Boolean argument. Okay, if you want true, we will write true, or we will write 1. Okay, for this example, we're taking it as an exact match, 0, close parentheses, and press enter. And there you go. One thing to keep in mind is that the table array range or the table array should be absolute. Okay, so to do that, we will press on the F4 button and then press enter. And now when I autofill, everything will work fine. Okay, we will talk about errors at the end of this video. You can find it using timestamps in the description of the video. Okay, let's continue now. Let's fill the year. So it is equal to VLOOKUP tab. The lookup value will be also the model. Why? Because in the secondary table, through the model, we will find the year. So what's my lookup value? It's the cell B2. My table array, it's the same. And let's not forget, select it, press F4 to make it absolute. Let's press a comma, let's add a comma. My column index now is the third column. Okay, so I'm gonna be searching for the value in the third column. So 3, 0, close the parentheses and press enter. Now to autofill directly, we will come to the right bottom corner, double click on it, and Excel will automatically fill the range for you. Okay, finally, let's fill the region in the main table. So equal VLOOKUP tab. My lookup value now will be the salesperson. Why? Because my secondary table, in order to find the region, we need the salesperson name. Okay, so this is my lookup value, comma, table array will be this one, right? Comma, what's the column index? It will be the second column because this is the first column and this is the second column. So 2, 0, close parentheses, and of course do not forget to make this array absolute. Okay, and let's press enter. Now press on it, double click on the corner, and there we go, we have it filled. So VLOOKUP has one main disadvantage, is that it will never look to the left. Well, as you can see, it will go down and then go to the right. It will never look to the left. We have some other errors. For example, let's go to this value and let me add a space right here, and let's press enter. Well, as you can see, both the cells that are dependent on this value show me an error now. Why? Well, because Excel will not find this value with a space in this secondary table. So if I remove the space and press enter, everything will go back to normal. One very common mistake while using the VLOOKUP formula is when you will forget to add your table array as an absolute reference. So let's remove the dollar signs. Let's click on F4, and now we have removed the dollar sign, so our array reference is not absolute anymore. Okay, let's press enter, and now let's autofill again. As you can see, now we have some cells with errors. Why is that? Let's go into details. I'll press F2 here to go to edit the formula. My range here is fine and it is in place. Let's go to the next cell, press F2. My range now has shifted one row to the bottom, but luckily Camry is still in this range. Let's go to the next cell, press F2. Also, my range shifted again one cell to the bottom. Why? Because we are shifting, we are filling to the bottom. Okay, we are filling cells to the bottom, and also the F150 is still in this range. If we go to the next cell where we have an error, the range has shifted also one more time to the bottom, but the Camaro is not in range anymore. Okay, that's why we have an error. Same thing for the other values. Another mistake is that, well, if let's say you were filling this formula and you inputted a column index larger than the amount of columns available in the secondary table. So let's say 5, for example. Press enter, and we have a reference error because column number 5 does not exist in this array. Finally, the main disadvantage of using Excel is that you will not be able to add columns to your secondary tables. Well, you will be able to add columns at the end, right? But in the middle, you cannot add. So for example, let's try to add a column to the left of the manufacturer's column. So we will select it, right click on it, insert, and we will shift cells to the right, press OK. As you can see now, my manufacturer details is zeros. Why? Because my second column now in this range, let's take a look at the formula. My second column in this range is now empty, and my third column is now the manufacturer. So I expect that I will have here the manufacturer's data, and that is exactly what happened. So I have the third column is now the manufacturer, while the fourth column is the year. So let's Control Z to undo whatever we did, and now let's say I add here color, for example, the car color. So blue, green, red, yellow. Okay, as you can see, the main table was not affected by this addition of a column. Why? Because my range was not affected by this addition. Okay, finally, the last disadvantage of VLOOKUP is that it will never look for two entries. So for example, if you have specified two Camrys in this secondary table and you were looking for the manufacturer of the Camry, well, it will only take the first entry. It will not go to the second entry. Okay, that is very important to keep in mind. So that's the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or concerns, please put them in the comments. Tell us what you are using the VLOOKUP for, what kind of data you are handling, and If you enjoyed it, please press the like button, and if you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing to our channel. Thank you and take care.